Hello and welcome to another edition of Kaleidoscope right here on Channels Television. I'm Anne Waado. On the program today, we have a chat with Voke Ogwe, the co-founder of Waado, an organization aimed at bridging the gap in sectors like education, technology, and more. Once again, welcome to Kaleidoscope. WADO is one organization using the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals to solve challenges in the United States and in Nigeria. Well, let's find out more.
Founded by Ejiro and Voke Ogwe, WADO is a U.S.-registered non-profit organization that exists to provide assistance to underserved communities by providing educational materials, food and digital training to develop skills and leadership opportunities for the social and economic development of various communities. The name Waado originates from the Urhobo tribe in the Niger Delta area of Nigeria, West Africa. It is a term that connotes welcome, warmth, and friendship. The organization's mission is to build strong, sustainable communities through partnerships, mentorship, relationship, leadership, and entrepreneurship within its host communities. With core values about faith, integrity, and commitment, its purpose is to be a catalyst for positive change to the people and the communities. WADO believes that true change must start from within to empower people to discover possibilities, develop problem-solving skills, and deliver marketable solutions in underserved communities. With courses designed to tackle problems such as drug abuse, prostitution, mental instability, standards education, agriculture, skill and talent acquisition, poverty and healthcare, WADO is determined to continue to bridge the gap in the education and tech space globally.
Let's now hear from the co-founder of WADO, Voke Ogwe. Your journey has been one of resilience, curiosity, and passion for education and technology. So, for those hearing this name, Voke Ogwe, for the first time, what would you tell them of the kind of person you are, what inspired the journey, and of course, what you have built so far?
Thank you for having me. Like you said, my name is Voke Ogwe. So for those who have not heard the name, I guess I can start with being the little Voke that grew up in Warri in Delta State, Nigeria. And my dad, Paul Bimre, worked at Delta Steel Company. So my early education started there, and I feel so blessed that that was where I started. Really great opportunity to jumpstart. I remember one of my teachers in primary school, Mr. Victor, who actually took us to NTA Benin for a debate competition while I was in primary school. I remember I actually got Best Literature Student when I was graduating from primary 6. So yes, I think that was a really good place that I would say my journey started, and that's one piece about me. And building on from there, I got a chance to either continue my secondary education at Delta Steel Company, but thanks to my mom, who's also an educator, Catherine Ileliji, she is actually at Poreben now, and she insisted that in order to build resilience, that I needed to go, somewhere that will build that with me. And so I also received the admission to Federal Government Girls College at Buloma, and that was where it's in Port Harcourt, and that was where I went for my secondary education. That I would say was a really huge part of also building up my journey till now. Going on from there, I actually received a Shell scholarship to study industrial mathematics at University of Benin. So back to Edo Delta. And that was where I spent 4 years of my university at University of Benin, and I graduated from the Department of Mathematics and Computer Science. I think that Shell scholarship was also the first spark that helped me to connect to the idea of giving back and understanding how important those organizations who value and uphold CSRs, corporate social responsibility, really how the part that they play in the lives of people that they don't even know what could come out of that. So I bet when Shell gave me that scholarship, they never knew they were going to be given, they were going to actually be, a part of my story. Also, I went to my National Youth Service Corps was at Kano State, and that's another place where I had a chance to teach mathematics and further mathematics to Police Girls Secondary School. So I just loved the inspiration that the girls got when they saw an actual female teacher in the classroom way in the north. It's actually in a place called Shanono in Kano State. So that was huge for me.
So let's talk about the various awards, several of them that you've won over the years, including the recent nomination by ARCO Group for the National Diaspora Merit Award. Which one would you say is closest to your heart, or maybe all of them are?
Well, I feel blessed about getting all these awards, and all of them are close to my heart, like you said. The U.S. Presidential Award for Excellence in Math and Science Teaching is the highest award that's offered to any K-12 educator in the United States. That award was actually started in 1983 and by President Ronald Reagan. So for that award, for me to be named a PIMS awardee, that's like on a national stage and an international stage, and even gives me more opportunities to be able to do what's close to my heart and inspire young girls. And so there was also the Amazon Future Engineer Teacher of the Year Award, and that award actually exposed me to the importance of industry, like tech companies or any of these organizations that really hope to build a talent pipeline. And so you're talking about secondary school is not too early. Primary education is not too early. How are you going to inspire kids to want a career that leads you to build your workforce for the future? And so seeing that model that Amazon used and understanding how to help my students to tie the work that they do to the careers of the future of technology was very inspiring for me. So I would say that award is a great platform. And then for ARCO, nominating me to receive the National Merit Award for Diaspora with the NIDCOM committee, I would say that was just the highlight of, it gave me a sense of true deep gratitude that someone could have just said, oh, she's abroad, she got this award, and that was it, like congratulations. But it didn't stop there. And what that did for me, beyond the gratitude to ARCO Group PLC, was give me more of a sense of what I can give back here, in Nigeria.
For someone who's had this experience of how it's done outside of Nigeria, how do you think the Nigerian government can do more, probably, to improve the education sector and the tech space in the country?
Yeah, just building on what I've experienced, I feel that all of this every good things take time. And I wouldn't say we're not on the right path. I mean, look at, my educational background here, and just building people who are happy to give back. It's very important. I would start with and I like to use three things: people, process, and then tools. If we put the people first, then use what we have to use those people to build the processes. Another thing too is we did a pilot to see how we can replicate some of the experiences we had in the US here in Nigeria. And we worked with some recent graduates, some of them first class from good universities, and ran a 3-month program to internship. It's called a Talent Acceleration Program, to see how they can join the workforce and work remotely. And it was a very successful program. And what we noticed was that giving them the right opportunity, connecting them to the right tools, the right resources, will expose them to do really well. I think what the Nigerian government can do to replicate some of this is to partner with organizations to create relevant curriculum, and also to create platforms for training teachers. A lot of those are available through the kinds of associations I am a part of back in the US, where teachers are trained and students as well. And we actually built a platform. So right now, as VP of Digital Education at Scrumban AI, it's a tech startup, I help to work with incoming interns so that we can bridge the gap between academics and the industry work, and how do they take their academic experience and turn it into productive workforce, productivity in the workplace. And so we actually ran a pilot, and it was a very successful pilot with some interns over 3 months, and it showed that the program is a testament of what training can do. The sponsors are connected with the teachers and the students, because it's very important for the curriculum to be relevant. And if you're going to build a workforce, you want the students trained on actual practical concepts. And another big piece of the platform is where students can actually work on bounties, actual projects from industries, and then they can earn. And so if we start to create and partner with people who can make sure that the educational experience is a whole lot better, we'll have graduates that come out a bit more prepared. When we ran our pilot program, a lot of the students that had graduated had never touched any of these industry tools, and a lot of their knowledge was not transferable to the real world. A lot of it was just theoretical, and so based on that, we knew that there had to be that change really has to come that way. Another thing is work with the training bodies. Don't think that the teacher's role is just to stay in the classroom. Involve them in training that goes outside of just the curriculum, outside of the classroom. And you'll start to build creativity as part of your curriculum, and start it early on. So another thing is maker spaces. That's very huge, where the students can work with robotics, machines. They can even the simple things like Cricut, where they are designing. It's like design spaces. So maker spaces are huge for building those type of practical knowledge as part of the curriculum.
We have more for you in just a moment. When Kaleidoscope returns, please join us again. Welcome back. You're still watching Kaleidoscope on Channels Television. Let's continue the conversation now with the co-founder of Waado, Voke Ogwe.
Over 20 years of transforming the education sector and, of course, the tech space, what has the experience been like for you? And when you look back, what are you most excited about?
The tech space for me and the educational space has been really amazing. One of the notable results is partnering with several organizations like Microsoft Teals and Amazon to help bring equal education, to girls and to minorities, underrepresented populations. One of the things that excites me about that was one of my students who actually won a $40,000 Amazon Future Engineer Scholarship to the university. Just looking at those kinds of results, or many of my students who have actually, because of the Aspirations in Computing Award by NC WITS, which is a woman National Council of Women in Tech, we partnered with them as teachers to nominate our students to see the opportunities that they have. And those have opened up a whole world of possibilities for many of these girls. My daughter actually was a national winner for the Aspirations in Computing, and actually this fall she'll be going to study computer science at MIT. So just the possibilities of what could happen when you are exposed to the right people, to the right mentorship, it goes a very long way. And that's also another reason why we have a platform for mentoring girls, and that expands across America and Nigeria to mentor girls who are going to pursue their careers, who are going to build futures, who are going to be creative. We have this mission statement that says that girls just exist to develop creative girls who pursue dreams and futures that can change their worlds for better through hard work, humility, perseverance, teamwork, eagerness to learn, and determination. And so what that reminds me of is the opportunity to take all these experiences and use that to provide platforms that others can also rise on top of. So if you ask me what I'm excited about for the future, I couldn't have planned out this future to the point where I am. So everything for the next future is really just a matter of consistency in working hard, in giving back, and let God just take it to where, you know, it needs to be. And I think that faithfulness is usually rewarded. And that's, for me, I'm adventurous, I'm a learner, and I keep building on. I co-founded with my husband a nonprofit. It's called Waado, and Waado is a native word that means welcome. And so that's the platform that we find ways to connect with the UN SDG goals to help to allow people who may not have that opportunity, you know, partner with them to improve their communities and to build, you know, the solutions that they need. You know, it's not just about people handing things over to you, but it's also about you discovering what you can contribute as well to the solution.
Mathematics is one subject a lot of people, maybe a lot of students fear. I mean, for me, I never crossed 60% when I was, so I didn't feel like, well, maybe some would say I knew mathematics, but maybe not above average. But for a lot of students, it was a scary subject. But we see more men when we look at that field, when we see more experts that are men in that field. Maybe for that young girl watching you right now, thinking, I need an inspiration. How do I become a mathematician or make it my best subject to be able to impact more? What would you tell that young girl watching you right now about mathematics?
It is possible. And I've taught thousands of students, and one thing I do is to make sure that you take out the mystery from it. I know it sounds very difficult to say, but I grew up where there was no expectation that, oh, the guys will do better than the girls. So I'm grateful for that foundation. So I was expected to be good at math, and I rose to the expectation. A lot of times people talk about math like it's something scary, so you already set up that fear, and it's there from early on. So how do we deal with that? We change the way we speak about it, and we try to bring it home. It's a lot of finding concrete ways. There's one concept where you work on showing 4 different ways to a math problem. And so it's like, how can I get into solving and understanding that problem? Provide problem-solving models for kids early on, like, what's the question really asking? What's the information you have? It leads into engineering and design thinking. So it was, for me, very, like I was speaking to someone yesterday, and I would say effortless, but what it also did for me was, if I want other people to enjoy it, how do I translate that energy, that enthusiasm? And I brought it into everything. Technology, programming, all of that.
So I think that's the problem, where teachers do not know how to relate that subject, maths, to people. That's why they get scared. I mean, I was very good at sciences. I was excellent in every other subject. But as I said, mathematics was kind of like a chore. I never crossed 60 over 100. So how would you advise teachers who probably are in that field, and how they can better teach students? Because I'm sure it's still going on till now. People still fear maths.
It is. And I mean, if you talk about national scores, like test scores, it's a big thing in the US. And so, but one area for that is partner with technology. That was one huge aspect that I used. So let's just talk about, let's say, getting the students to visualize it using calculators like TI Inspires. I think they have it on, they have Casios, they have graphs where students can identify, where what these translate the actual theoretical piece into a practical scenario. For example, I had students that they were actually able to graph an equation, right? But they connected it to a rover. A calculator is like a little mini robot, and then it programmed it and they drew it on the board, just on the floor. Just imagine seeing that sort of creative space. Everyone who wasn't even good in math will want to do more. I had an A1 in math, by the way.
Oh, please. Well, well done, well done. I mean, to all, everyone who's excellent in maths, thank you, well done. All right, but let's talk about the future. What is it looking like from where you sit?
Yes, okay, so I would say that there's a lot of work to be done. And with a lot of these awards and platform, it just gives you more of a voice to be able to participate in the transformation that's coming in the educational space. I'm very excited to be looking into these areas, especially now working with a tech startup. We build platforms, and so that our talent acceleration platform is going to grow into. We have boot camps, we have hackathons, exposing students to competitions early on. So I see a lot more of synergy with industry, as well as with industry and with. So education in tech is big now. You have all the big tech that are working on digital transformation when it comes to education. So AI, robotics, machine learning, space. Let's not forget about space and all of that. And so those are the areas that we see that there's going to be a lot. With robotics includes drones, working with the REC Foundation. I actually hosted aerial drone competitions, and you should see where it doesn't matter, girls, boys, and all of these, and from primary education all the way, and what they're doing with these drones, coding, automation, autonomous drones, those kinds of things, connecting them with computer science principles. I would say that computer science, and it almost ties to everything. It should not be taught in isolation like you are studying computer science. It is a tool that can be used for art, for writing, can be used for, so it even aids with reading. There's this program that code.org does. It's called Hour of Code. Every school should participate in activities like that. It gives opportunities for showcase early, where you get to see the versatility of technology. And so people are not scared of it as a tool in itself, but more of it is something that's useful for solving a problem. It doesn't replace thinking. Actually, it is important to have computational thinking to be able to apply those concepts for programming. So for me, I look forward to being an ambassador for these kinds of programs, to help train thousands of teachers, to have platforms that recognize teachers, like the NSF partnered with the White House, and they're the ones that, and when I say NSF, I mean the National Science Foundation in the US, partnered with the White House to promote this PIMS, Presidential Excellence in Math and Science Teaching Award. And so I want to be an ambassador for programs that are going to encourage excellence in teaching, especially teaching in the areas that of the future. AI, robotics, those areas of STEM. So I look forward to those types of partnerships and expanding my influence beyond the US, also to Nigeria.
That's it on Kaleidoscope for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Anne Waado. Don't forget, you can watch past editions of the program. Just go to youtube.com/channels web, go to the search engine and type Kaleidoscope and watch various editions of the program. I'll definitely see you again very soon. I'm Anne Waado. Thank you for watching.